Hi, this is Dr. Dru Montri, Director of Government and Stakeholder Relations in the College of Ag and Natural Resources at Michigan State University.
And this is Dr. Kelly Millenbah, the Senior Associate Dean for the college and Director of Academic and Student Affairs, and we are here today celebrating International Women's Day. Take a walk with us. When you were a student, you studied biology and then fisheries and wildlife. What was that experience like for you?
Well, it was really interesting to be somebody who was interested in the sciences. I grew up in a family where both of my parents were scientists, so I was always encouraged to explore the things that were of interest to me. And as a little kid, I spent a lot of time in the biology lab that my dad had when he was a high school teacher. So I always felt like it was in my reach to be a scientist. And in fact, before I came into fisheries and wildlife, I always thought that I was going to be a brain surgeon. And I found I had a real strong interest in things that were out of doors. And that's really what led me from a biology major to a master's and PhD in fisheries and wildlife, because I knew I could go outside and have a job that allowed me to do that work.
So one of the things that we can do as women leaders is amplify each other's voices. How do you do that in your work?
Yeah, so amplifying each other's voices is really critically important. And I think that happens in a variety of different ways. If I'm in a meeting situation and maybe you and I are in a meeting together, one of the things that I might do is actually talk to you before the meeting and figure out, okay, what are we going to be talking about? And how do I ensure that your voice is heard? So if you share the idea, it's my responsibility then to come in behind you to restate it and to point to the fact that it was your idea. So those opportunities are really important, that women help support other women and help bring each other up as a whole. And I would hope also that my male colleagues would do the same thing, because there's a lot of opportunities where our male colleagues don't realize they have an opportunity to help support us, and we can do more to help them understand how they can do that.
How do you do that? So you're a leader, you're a boss, you have people that work with you. How do you do that for your support staff who are working for you?
Yeah, so I have a lot of different individuals who report to me, both administrative staff and academic staff. And one of, I think, the greatest gifts that I can give them is to help ensure that they have a voice at the table. So part of that comes through making sure that when we're talking about things, I re-emphasize the importance of having their voice at the table. So I ask them for ideas. I ask them to take different leadership roles. And if we're in a group setting, it's to be very purposeful as we go around the group to ensure that everybody has had a voice, which means literally going around the room and making sure that I've heard from everybody. Even if they say they don't have anything to share, at least I reached out to them to ensure they're engaged.
So you've served in a variety of different leadership roles. What have you learned over the years, and what do you think makes a good leader?
Yeah, so I've had a lot of opportunities to be in different types of leadership roles, and I think probably one of the most significant attributes of being a strong leader is the ability to listen and to really hear what people are saying. Sometimes we get in situations where we feel like we have to figure things out and we have to interject. But more than anything, a lot of what is important is really hearing other people for what they have to say, valuing their opinions, and then figuring out what the strategy is. One of the things that I hope that the people that I work with see in me is I don't claim to be an expert in everything that I'm involved in, but rather I empower the people around me to be the experts. And they serve then as the collective part of a bigger team where we're all working together and we're all contributing to whatever the issue is or whatever solution is that we need to be working on.
So there are things that you have to worry about in your job, and there are probably some things that you've learned to be able to let go. And I'm curious, what are some of the things that you used to worry about that you would recommend for other women to be able to let go of?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing for me is I put a lot of pressure on myself to be perfect, whatever perfect is. And I wish that I would not have put that kind of pressure on myself because I think I lost out in a lot of ways. I think that it caused me to be more afraid to stretch myself, try different things, try new things. And if there's one thing I would say I would regret, it would be that. It would be that I didn't take advantage of a lot of opportunities because I was afraid of how I was going to be perceived or whether I would make mistakes. And I think not losing your sense of humor is so important in all of this. And I wish that I would have been more willing to laugh at myself earlier and to recognize that actually you're more interesting and more fun when you let go of that perfectionism.
Are there any tricks or strategies that you have, like if you find yourself if you find yourself taking yourself too seriously, is there anything that you've learned to do that allows you to just relax a little?
I think that one of the things that I do is I listen to some of the things that I say, and sometimes just something will catch me right and I'll just start laughing about it, and then I'll be actually able to engage other people in that of, did you hear what I just said? It wasn't that crazy, and we'll sort of all start to laugh about it. And that'll actually break a lot of the tension and break my tension too for letting go of that perfection in that given situation. Thanks very much for today, Drew. I had a really good time doing this with you.
Yeah, I really appreciate this conversation. I think it's so important for us to talk about women's leadership and gender parity, and I know that this is just one of many conversations that we'll have like this as it relates to the great work that's happening here in the College of Ag and Natural Resources and a lot of the work that we need to continue.
Yeah, great. Thank you.